let's get to the stuff you guys want to talk about. You guys want to talk about, or you didn't see today. The big story that was been floating around all day was President Trump meeting with the president of South Africa. And it was a spicy one today. Lights, camera, confrontation. Trump's meeting with South African leader takes a dramatic turn. So Trump meets with the South African president, Cecile Ramaphosa, who was visiting in the hopes of reaching an agreement on trade. But Trump halfway through was like, what I need you to do is I need you to hey, can you turn down the lights? I'll let him say it. So he turns down the lights and he plays a string of clips that you and I have seen for the South African president in real time.
There's nothing this parliament can do. With or without you, people are going to occupy land.
Do you see him turning like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you playing this in front of me?
Permission from you, from the president, from no one. We don't care. We can do whatever you want to do. Who are you to tell us whether we can occupy land or not? We are going to occupy.
Trump rolled in a TV into the Oval Office. The South African president is obviously not a very smart man because he walked in. He's like, do you always have TV in the Oval Office? Right. Yeah. Trump ambushes South African president with fake claims of white genocide. That was all of them. I have a headline like that too. Yep.
Land, South African occupied land. That's who we are. Can we draw my membership from this useless parliament? Yes, honorable member. Must never be scared to kill. A revolution demands that at some point there must be killing, because the killing is part of a revolutionary act. Shoot to kill. No, sir. Kill the poor, the former.
This goes on for like 5 more minutes. And the South African president is just jittery the entire time. And then they show the white crosses, and Trump's like, every one of those crosses, every one of them on both sides of the highway. Every cross is for a white farmer. And the people stop and they say they pay attention to this terrible genocide that's happening. And yet NPR and all these places, all these outlets, because remember, the left and the left-controlled media wants you to think that South Africa it's the template. And here's MSNBC to show you guys. Same thing that G-Money just showed us here. Intense meeting, Trump makes South African president watch videos about quote-unquote white genocide. Quote-unquote white genocide. And it's just, we don't hate the media enough. We don't. And the fact is, and so it's one of those things that when you try to say it says, well, there's all groups are targeted in South Africa. You know, the claim that it's just white people is it's a misnomer, and it's a huge conspiracy theory that's taking place. Excuse me. And it's unfounded that these claims of white genocide are not happening there. And so it's one of these things that you got to watch. I can't stand Lauren Southern, but she does a documentary you can watch on YouTube called Farmlands, and she documents the struggles of the white farmer in South Africa. And it's very hard for all of these things. Yeah, Bellator. He's a showman. He knows how to make engaging television. He's strategic, and that's one advantage that he has over pretty much every single other politician out there, is that they do not have any idea what they're doing when they walk in there. Because he's like, oh, we are going to talk about trade. We are going to talk about trade, and I'm going to shake his hand. It's going to be very good. And Trump's like, no, it's not. You're killing white people. It's not a good thing. And he's like, what are you talking about? and it's absolutely crazy. And he thought it was going to be an early screening of Mission. Oh, we are going to watch Mission Impossible. He is my favorite actor, even though he's white. Oh, I love it. But it's fantastic. So, sitting next to him was South African president, blah, 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 blah. The baseless accusations that white farmers in his country were being systematically singled out for persecution and murder. And it's absolutely fantastic. I don't know if you can hear this, but he's telling him to turn the lights down. He's like, look at the TV. Look at the white crosses right here. Showing the videos that we've all seen. He's showing them pictures of the white farmers, all the crosses that are taking place.
They told you where that is, Mr. President? I'd like to know where that is.
And the South African president, because you guys can't hear it, he goes, where is this? I do not know where this is. Can you tell me where in my country, where I am the president, where is the crosses of the white farmers? And he's like, really, bro? Really? He's like, I've never seen this in my life. So the South African president enacted the Shaggy defense. It wasn't me. They caught me on the crosses. It wasn't me. I didn't tell them to take the land. It wasn't me. I didn't take any of this. Even though Trump's like, all right, well, what about all these videos of you talking about taking their land? It's like, that's not me either.
When you look at the videos, I mean, how does it get worse? And these are people that are officials, and they're saying that kill the white farmer.
And he's talking about how they say, well, your officials are saying that.
I would say if there was Afrikaner farmer genocide, I can bet you these three gentlemen would not be here.
So, of course, the South African president is like, there is no genocide. We would not be here if there is genocide. So you're telling me a politician is looking the other way? It's not like Africans, this is the first time they've turned away from this. Just look at what happened in Rwanda when there was a black on black genocide. When I think it was the Hutu were just butchering the Tutsi. And they were like, that is no genocide here. What are you talking about? And the rest of the world didn't care either because, it was Africa. But it was very interesting to see.
Including my Minister of Agriculture. He would not be with me. So it will take him, President Trump, listening to their stories.
And of course, the left is going to defend the South African president because, and then Trump, those papers, there were stacks of papers, were printouts of reports of attack on white farmers, death, horrible death. His administration has welcomed dozens of South Afrikaners to the U.S. as refugees. And of course, Ramaphosa says there is no genocide. Of course, he's on record earlier saying that the white people should, even if they should stay and fight, even though they don't have access to guns because that's being completely taken from them. And it's absolutely hysterical. But there you go. You have this that happened. 70,000 South Africans are interested in U.S. asylum. Now, we're assuming that the 70,000 are all the white Afrikaners. And if that's the case, I say take every single one of them, expedite their asylum, bring them here, set them up in one day. Hey, we're going to put you all in Northeast Georgia. Why? Because Georgia's a purple state right now, right? I'd say because that's also kind of the climate they're used to. They're, the warm southern climate is kind of used to what they have, I believe. Put them in like Northeast Georgia in one of those smaller towns, give them the town, and in 2 generations, it's going to be the most prosperous part of Georgia. And the state will never be purple again. It will be red. Talk about balancing out the scales. You'll destroy the political pull that Atlanta has by putting them there. Yeah, Patel and Bongino say, no genocide. We've seen we've seen real ones. There's none here. It's not happening. Trust me, bro. But I say under Trump, expedite them. Fly down as many C-130s as you can. Stuff them all in. Fly them back. Set them down. It doesn't have to be Georgia. Set them down in New Mexico. Imagine that. You put 70,000 white Afrikaners into New Mexico. They would farm the land. The southern part of New Mexico is very fertile, very good for growing things. The state would turn red. You'd never have to put them in Arizona. Put them in your state of choice that you think could go red, right? Put them in Vermont. Put them in New Hampshire. Put them in Rhode Island. I don't care. But tell them you can put them in Maryland, and you would absolutely you'd flip an entire state by doing that. And I think those people deserve to be in a place where they can have access. Well, I'd rather put them in a red state, so they can have access to firearms and they can get firearm training and they can have castle ground stuff. Right. I don't want to put them in blue states because they'll be targeted. I guarantee you, if they go to blue states, they'll be targeted. Put them in a red state. Put them in a red state where they can use castle doctrine and they can have, they can buy firearms and they can get concealed carry license and they can train with them and they can defend themselves because they're going to be targeted. I hate to be this guy, but these white Afrikaners will be targeted by the left. They will be, because they are the epitome of what the left hates, right? Which is Western culture, i.e. white people. And I'm not trying to do the white people thing, and maybe YouTube's going to just nuke this stream. So thank gosh, thank everything. We're on Getter and we're on Rumble and other places where this show will actually be continued to be broadcast. I'd say X, but X is trash. No, I didn't say Texas. I said, notice how like New Mexico would be a perfect place for him. Now, New Mexico, you can't, it's blue. I wouldn't put him there. I wouldn't put him in Colorado either. It's too blue. I think a state like Georgia or a state like Idaho, a nice red state that's kind of going purple, put them there. Say, you guys can have access to whatever you want. Let them be like the Amish. Leave them alone and watch them just build out. Kansas, I think Kansas, they would love to live in a place like Kansas. Iowa, any of those places. Missouri, parts of Missouri would be great for them to live in. I think those would be absolutely fantastic places for them to live. And they deserve it. They deserve to do that and come here. Yeah, I know. I said New Mexico, but New Mexico is terrible. Yeah, I know. You put them in New Mexico, it would be like South Africa all over again. Move them to Arizona. Arizona still, they could absolutely do what they need to do in Arizona. Northern Arizona would actually probably a better climate for them, right near like Williams, Arizona, probably closer to the Grand Canyon area. I don't know if they get seasons in South Africa. I'm kind of stupid to this. If you know in the chat, let me know, so I can be less ignorant or less foolish. I'm sorry, I got to throw this in here right now. We got a chat from Rumble. Sunrise 27. Not sure if anybody heard, but Dan Bongino used to be in the Secret Service. He is? Thank you. Sunrise 27. Thank you for your comment, my friend. That's awesome. Or person, I don't want to gender you. But thank you. You're letting me know, because I didn't. But yes, put them in a place where they can protect themselves, where they're welcomed, and let them thrive. Leave them alone. Let them thrive. Hell, put them in Tennessee. Tennessee's starting to get a little purple with all the idiot liberals moving to Nashville. Put them in Western Tennessee, not in Memphis. Keep them away from Memphis. Put them in Northwest Tennessee and let them thrive. But I think those people deserve to come here. And so I'm happy to see that. And, it's follow up to what Rubio was saying yesterday. We played the clip where he was going back and forth with Tim Kaine, where Rubio said to him, hey, you don't like the South Africans because they're white. You're giving me crap because they're white people. If we imported 70 black South Africans, you wouldn't care. But since they're white people, now it's a problem. Now it's an issue. And they're really the left is showing their hand, which the mask is completely off. And I'm glad it is, because many people need to see how racist they really are.